Hey everyone, welcome to the live. We're doing Dan Cams. How are we all doing? Thank you so much. The mic might sound funny because just as we were about to go live, I'm doing a little bit of a renovation. I just snapped and bent my microphone cable because I'm a genius. So hopefully you can hear me all fine. Sean, good day. Double Dummy TL says, thank you so much. Thank you to you lot. 10k wouldn't be possible without you lot. Brett, Sandra, thank you very much. 40 years old a couple of days ago. How are we all doing? If you do want to jump in and chat all things AFL off-season, we'll be live for about an hour or so you can come in, chat a bit of rubbish to us. What I wanted to do today is go through, I thought we'd have a look at Cal Toomey's Phantom draft. Phantom is top 40, what he's looking at. I thought we'd have a look at players that are delisted, people that we think might get a second chance. And then just have a general vibe check. I wanted to see what people feel, who's rising, who's falling, people that you like in the draft, people who you don't. I've made a little funky thing for you. So what I'll show you, first up, right, if I press this button, it should work. Can I go full screen nowadays? Can we? We can indeed. So if I show you this, Afrim, cheers mate, thank you. I had a great birthday. Thank you everyone. Had a fantastic birthday. So what I've made here, and I'm going to be adding this one to our, AFL mock draft. But what you've got here is Pom's little cheat sheet here. All right. So this is what we're looking at in the terms of the AFL draft this year. So it's going to be what we've got, what you're looking at really here is we try to condense the players, what the teams need, and what picks they have. So we're just working on this at the minute on the back end, but this is what we've basically got so far. So you can see here, Adelaide there, we're anticipating that Adelaide are looking for a bit of midfield versatility, a little bit of midfield potency. Hey, Ben, I don't know, am I technically a boomer? I don't know. I'll probably say some boomer stuff if you ask my kids. So, who knows? Who knows? You never know. Brisbane, obviously they've lost Starcevic, but really it's just long-term balance, what we look for them. Players that we're looking at, and these players are the players around their first pick. So that's what you're seeing at the minute. So Danny Annable, Tyan Prindable, Isaac Waller. I don't suspect the Lions are going to be too crazy in the draft. So I think that they'll just go there. You can see here Carlton. Quite simple really. Outside run. A bit of carry. A bit of polish. So we've got Lockie Doverston. Josh Lindsay fit that bill. Obviously, they've got Harry Dean, NGA, no doubt about that. Collingwood, a little bit more complex. They don't have picks till the late 30s. So we've got Jackie Dalton. We've got Zach McCarthy, who's part of theirs. Do like the look of Liam Heatherton for them. They do like kind of that speculative player. When I look at what they're doing, they've obviously got Charlie West, who's the young key forward. I think they're going to be looking at like the most point of difference-y type of player when I look at Collingwood. So Collingwood are a real wait and see for me. Very hard to pick. Like you could make cases for Rory Wright too. I do think they'll like Jack Dalton though. He's the kind of Collingwood player. I don't know why. That's just a vibe. I don't know anything about that. So then we go down to Essendon. Definitely for me, Essendon are probably the most fun team to play with. They definitely need rejuvenation. Power, burst, durability particularly would be high up on their list. So Solly Roby, Sam Cumming, Dyson Sharp. They definitely be there. Hunter Holmes Void. Brilliant. Absolute brilliant. Yeah, definitely a Collingwood type player. We'll have a look at Hunter Holmes a bit later. Fremantle, they're really exciting. I think Fremantle fans might disagree with me, but I'd say key position players. So Blake Threadgold would be an option at 20. It might be too early. I could see them looking at Philippo, though. Definitely that type of player. I do like Sam Cumming. Any man that can kick 3 goals in a game in Sandful Seniors is very good. Highly likely Dalton goes, but definitely the type of player. It's quite hard when we're looking at picks in the 40s, though, to guess. A 2, how are you, mate? Good. Geelong are really fascinating. I do think they would like a ruck forward, so that would bring them into, if he slides Sherbert, I think Sherbert should be gone by 19, but they may look at Ludovic. Josh Lindsay, if he keeps sliding like everyone says. Mitch Marsh would definitely be a type of player. Gold Coast, obviously they've got the easiest draft in the world. All 3 of their NGAs, including Jai Murray, is a superstar. Jai Murray would be another one I'd look at. Collingwood as well. I don't think that they'll match all of their players. So Jai Murray, for me, is the most untalked about one. GWS, midfield depth, outside burst. Ollie Greaves definitely looks like a GWS player. Sam Grill, I don't think he'll slide to 12, but he could do. They'd definitely be the type of player to take Harley Barker as well. Definitely take him. Hawthorn, Ollie Greaves rings a bell for me, and I think I would look. I've got a little. I don't know if my good man. I know he said he was going to unsubscribe, the cheeky little bugger, but I don't know if Double Dummy's still in here. But Ollie Greaves was just unlucky not to be an NGA at Hawthorn. I wonder if they've done something dodgy with him. You know what, TL? Great call with Mitch Marsh. Josh Lindsay, though, Jevon Philippo, definitely the type of players that I think Hawthorn are in a real good spot. They'll definitely take whoever the slider is, I think. Melbourne, they're in a really intriguing position. I do think that they will be looking at Dyson Sharp and Sam Cumming as if they slide, particularly Dyson Sharp. I think he's the most like-for-like replacement they could. It's definitely the modern day. It's just their first choice selection after him. So we just put 3 types of players around their first picks, mate. So their first pick, I think, is really intriguing. You could make a really good argument for Aidan Sherbert, but I do think that Dyson Sharp, if he does slide, will be there. North, really interesting. I've got them locked into key position players. I don't know what you guys and girls think. But I think Threadgold would be up there, Heatherton, Ludovic. I think North Melbourne are definitely looking at a key position player. Do I think McGuan? Well, I mean, he's tested pretty well, Void, so he could do. I think there's better players out there, but I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked to see them in the 40s. Only Carlton, I do love you, mate. I do. Teresa, they'll probably go a mid. I do think Port Adelaide are in a really interesting position, right? Because I do think that they need the same type of player, right? So, Tom Burt and Jai Murray would really intrigue me. Really intrigue me. Rory Wright, they do. Any chance of... Look, you know I'm a big Dyson Sharp man. DRV. I'm a big Dyson Sharp man. I think it's mental that he's getting so downplayed, to be honest. He's done it in seniors. Sam Cumming and Dyson Sharp, for me, are the 2 most underrated players in this AFL, without a shadow of a doubt in this draft. And I think that's a disgrace. Yeah, TL, just remember, the names suggested here are only for their first pick. It's just to make it easy for visuals. So it's just players that will be around the first pick. And then we've just thrown in an NGA. If they're at a stupid point. So then we've got St Kilda. Kai Fincher's their NGA to worry about. They're in really late in the draft. Jai Murray, if they could end up with Jai Murray, which I don't think they do, I think Kai Fincher will definitely get a pick before their first bid. But in an ideal world, Jai Murray, if they could get Jai Murray and Kai Fincher through the door, could be the best draft of all time. Sydney Swans, they're stocked with picks. But I did want to throw a curveball, right? I wanted to throw a curveball at your chat, right? What do you think about Jackson Voss at Sydney? So Sydney have done it before, looked at senior players. I'm looking at Jackson Voss here, and I've got a feeling that Jackson Voss could be it. Lindsay and Doveston, well, you'll like this. Pretty much that's the list for Carlton's first pick. So you'll like that. You'll like that, mate. Good day to you, mate. So Sydney, Jackson Voss, I've got a sneaky feeling. Eagles, we're going to talk about them a bit later. They're really intriguing because I think the Eagles are behind a PR push for number 2. So it's going to be really intriguing. It's going to be really intriguing what they do. Dursma, you'd imagine he's pick 1. CDT, Sullivan, Roby. You know what? When I look at Eagles' list as well, right? When I look at Eagles' list, I just think Sam Cummins suits what they want. So I don't know, but I wonder what happens. I think there'll be an offer on pick 2 in the draft generally. And then the doggies are really intriguing because doggies generally don't draft for need. They draft for what they want. They're very skill-based. So Lockie Doveston, you'll see there we've put green wing. I've got a feeling that Doveston might play as that aggressive wing first year. I could see him becoming that type of player. Jacob Farrow, obviously no-brainer, one of the most underrated players in this draft. And Harley Barker. Whoever gets Harley Barker will win. Do I think? I don't think they. I don't think they bid pick 2. I don't think they bid. I think that's media noise. I do think that's media noise, and that's just not wishful thinking on my part. But this should be live sometime next week. This will be live sometime next week. Needs to be refined a little bit, doing a little bit of back end work and stuff. Because ideally, I'd like to have that with placements for all picks as well. So we're going to throw this out to you guys. So this should be live next week. Do we look at Mitch Marsh? I think he's definitely a shout. He's definitely a shout of someone that I would look at. So what I wanted to show you next is let's have a look at Callum Toomey's Phantom Draft, right? So let's have a wee look. What's going on here? What the fuck's going on with the AFL website? AFL website, like, gone mental. Where's his latest one? Does that work? So here we are. Let's have a look at this. So what I thought we'd do here. Yeah, I think that could be it. See, I'm glad you think that, Rift. Great to see you, mate. I hope you're doing really well. Right, really do. Hey, mate, he could replace Jeffers. We can't replace Francis Jeffers, though, mate. So let's have a look at where Cal Toomey's going. Willem Dursma. Right, Willem Dursma. I really like... Look, I've been Dyson Sharp, Will Dursma 1 and 2 all year. I understand. I think... Rift, I know you're a big Eagles man. I don't know if Chunky Eagles in as well. I know that he's a big Eagles man as well. I really like Will Dursma for Eagles. Right? I like him for Eagles. I'm not too sure why people have a knock on him, to be honest. I genuinely don't. I genuinely don't know why people have a knock on Dursma, but when I look at the Eagles, I think the Eagles, they'd be amiss not to go the most exciting player in the draft class, in my opinion. So it makes sense to me that you just go straight for this guy. It's fascinating, though, because I think that people just get a little bit upset about him. Get a little bit upset at times. But, like, if you look, I mean, while we talk about him...
Bodies underneath the football and in front.
Let's just watch a little bit of Will Dursma. So here is Will Dursma. Shout out Footy as well. Footy highlights. But a really nice, solid player to watch. When you watch Willem Dursma play, he's played all around the ground this year at junior level. He's played centre-half back at times for Gippsland Power. He's played across half-forward, wing, half-back. I'm a big fan of Will. I think the fact that, adding Willem Dursma with Harley Reid is really exciting. Really exciting. I understand people saying he's homesick. He could get homesick and stuff, but... I think you've got to. I think you've got to back your culture in. You've got to back your culture in, and playing with Harley Reid would be a huge turn on, I'd imagine, But I really like how Dersma goes about his work. I think he's... A lot of people have knocked his disposal, but you look here. He plays the aggressive kick. If you watch Willem play, yes, he does turn the ball over at times. Yes, he has made mistakes. But everything's modern day attacking kicks. Like there, look, that's just a drill straight down the line. Right? And he's got great vision. And I'm really excited about Willem Dersma. So I would agree with Cal. I think he's definitely going to be there at West Coast first pick. It'll be really interesting what West Coast do after that pick. Let's have a look. Who did Cal Toomey go to after that? So Cal Toomey after that, second best player in the draft, Zeke Hewland. So this is going to be a real fascinating one, Zeke, because I would imagine pick 1, if we're talking about it, pick 1, you would imagine pick 2 has to have Zeke in there. Don't you think? What are you guys thinking? Goddard type, don't mind it. Hey Jamie, how you doing? Plays where he wants, mate. Spot on. So it's going to be really interesting. Yeah, I agree with you there, Rift. Right? So it's going to be really interesting. Bookmark this. I think they still will. I genuinely think the Pies are in the 8. I don't know why people are saying they're not. Who's Milk? Who are you taxed? Oh, Milkshakes. Oh, Milkshake doesn't think... You don't think they're him? You know what, Spinks? Don't mind it. G'day, mate. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really hope you're doing well, mate. Good to see you in chat, man. So then, obviously, I'm with him. I'm with Spinks Capes. I don't mind if they put in a bid for Harry Dean. I'm going to be totally honest. I really don't mind. Right? I really don't mind. For me, and Rift, I'd love your opinion, right? If it wasn't Sam Cumming, would you like CDT? Would you like CDT? Because I am not sure why people aren't talking about it, because I genuinely think, and just reading this about Cal Toomey, it really annoys me a little bit, because I think everyone's focusing way too much on the fact he rucks, but he's not going to ruck day 1 in the AFL. He's going to play forward, and his forward craft is really, really, really solid. His forward craft is really, really solid. So, I'm a really big fan of Cooper Duff-Tyler. Bevton, thank you very much for the 5 gifted. Get around Bevton, what a legend. So, I'm really surprised here. I think that's a fair call. I just think, like, when I did my video on Cooper Duff-Tyler the other day, I think your total talent is totally different to Cooper Duff-Tyler, and it won't stand in his way. But if we have a look at this game here, look, we'll show this game here. This was him in the VFL, right? This was his game in the VFL, right? And I think he can be that second tall day 1. If you look at him as a forward that will go into the ruck in a couple of years, I really like it. And I look at Oscar Allen at West Coast Eagles. I don't think anyone talks. It's leading patterns that were really strong with Oscar Allen. How hard he worked up the ground. So when I look at Oscar Allen, I think Cooper Duff-Tyler could fill that void very early doors. And then you've got scope with the new rules, because the way he works around the ground is really good. So he was really strong in this game as well. Like for a child, you've got to remember he's a child playing against men. Really strong performance. His link-up play is good. He's tested incredibly as well. Definitely one of them types of players that you could do it. You see, I hear you with Job Shanahan, Spinks, but I think people are sleeping on how good CDT is. Like, I like Job Shanahan. I was a big fan of him in the draft. But I don't think there's any comparison. But be an interesting one. Dylan Patterson. So this is the one that Spinks said, let's have a bid on. I really think this guy's gettable. So when you look at someone who comes from rugby league, it's very important when you look at this, because his ability to take around, right, take the game on, work out space, you see that comes from his rugby league background. Very, very wily customer. I'm a big fan of Dylan Patterson, and I do think when I look at Gold Coast's list, this would be one that I think if there's a bid on Dylan Patterson in the first 4, they might not do it. They might not do it, but they definitely can match it. But I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of Dylan Patterson. I really like him. He'd definitely be the modern day player. Vizzy Blues ask why. Well, I mean, you've got to remember, Vizzy Blues, the best way to do it is it's a competition. So I've been a big advocate that I think teams need to bid on players as early as possible. It's a competition on field and off field. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite now. If West Coast bid on Harry Dean at pick 2, I have been asking for it my entire YouTube career. So I don't mind it. Then let's have a look. Danny Hannibal. This is a really intriguing one, right? Because this guy here has done most of his junior year in State League football. So one, I find it very intriguing that he's 5th. Very intriguing. Cumming, Rift. I do think Cumming was better, but that was purely because I think his role is more suited to transition in AFL straight away. Dyson Sharp being a more inside midfielder, it's going to be harder. You saw that with Jason Horne-Francis when he first came in. It's a bit of an adaptation. But Sam Cumming was definitely impressive. I mean, 3 goals and 20-odd touches in a game, mate. That's insane, isn't it? Like, let's be honest, that is insane for a child. Danny Hannibal, though, very interesting, very solid. This guy here, underrated player. Underrated player, Danny Hannibal. I don't know how Brisbane have done it. No one's talking about it, but really strong player. So let's talk about the bolter. Who would you say first, coming or going? Mate, probably coming. My favourite thing to do, mate. Sullivan Roby up next. So Sullivan Roby's a really intriguing one. Some people got really upset about really upset about me not liking Sullivan Roby, and that's not the case. I really like Sullivan Roby. Right, my issue with Sullivan Roby, and it's just one issue, is I just think in today's game of football, it's more the hype train on Sullivan Roby that's going against everyone else. But what are you getting from Sullivan Roby? You're getting a guy that obviously has come through the hard way, right? Has come through it the hard way. You've got to remember, this guy has been on the periphery of selection, come in, taken the piss when he has got his opportunity, bided his time, playing midfield forward. He's definitely going to be a very, very solid player. But I just think the hype on him is a little bit unjustified, in my opinion. I think people have gone a bit crazy on it because of the draft class. He's very good. He's a very good player, but I just think it's disrespectful to players like Sam Cumming and stuff that they've kind of gone by the wayside. But there is no doubt in my mind that he is a great little prospect. And you see it here against Sandringham. He pretty much won the game off his own boot. He's a real menace. And what I really like, I think the big story of Sullivan Roby that I like is, you got to think 12 months ago, at the start of this season, he wasn't selected. So then he's gone away, gone to club football, worked his ass off, got back into the Eastern Ranges side, done incredibly well. Full credit to him. But you see his fight, right? You see his fight and his desire. And he's always wanting the ball. So I really like it. Do I think he's rated too high? Look, I think if I was Essendon, Eagles, Melbourne, Richmond, I've got 2 bites of the Terry in the same pick. Take the risk, man. Right? But exactly like Sphinx says, could be the best draft decision you ever do. If I was the list manager at Eagles, I don't think I'd pick Sullivan Roby at 2. I really don't. If I could trade down and guarantee him, maybe. But I'm not I'm not 100% sold, and I don't know why. I think he's incredibly good, though. Just I'm not really buying into it like everyone else is, in my opinion. But maybe I'm just too safe. Do I think Carlton has the eye on Josh Lindsay? Well, I mean, he suits a need. He suits a need. Yeah, well, you drive. I think Richmond makes sense. You've done the hard work. You've built a beautiful list. So I think you can afford to take risks. When I look at Eagles, I think they've got to start their hard work. So I would be looking at that. Xavier Taylor, for me, is a really intriguing one. And I'm really in. Right? I'm really invested in this one. There is something about Xavier Taylor that I don't think anyone's talking about it. This guy here is definitely what we get excited about in the AFL. So you can see it's very interesting there that it looks like Khartoum is alluding him to Nick Vlaston. I don't mind it. I think this guy's got a future at midfield. I really do. I feel like he's got a... Don't know what you guys think. I really think that he could be a modern day wing, that attacking. I get like a Nick Blakey vibe from him. You'll see it here because look, in the final, if you watch the highlights, he was devastating. He was devastating in the final. I think he was a more impressive player than Sullivan Roby. Spot on, TL. I'm a big believer in that. If you look here, look, he was a lot more exciting, I thought, than Sullivan Roby. He controlled the play. He attacked well. Jasper, don't know if people... I don't know if people follow Jasper on Twitter, but he was huge. He was huge on him, saying that if you want Will Day, just get Xavier Taylor. I genuinely see it. I think this guy's going to develop into a really good midfielder option. He's very aggressive, very assured with the ball in his hands. So I'm really intrigued what he does. Let's see who else Khartoum has gone. Harry Dean. So Harry Dean, the premium key defender in this draft. Is he a key though? 194. They are getting smaller now, but he's a very solid player. I will say this. I remember watching Jacob Wheatering's draft, and I think Harry Dean is a lot more suited to AFL football today than Jagger was and then Wheatering was at that time. Very excited about this. Very excited about Harry Dean. Again, I'll stand by it. I can make an argument for Eagles to be dickheads and pick him at pick 2. Well, they're not dickheads. They're playing a game. Sport is sport. You've got to be ruthless. I don't think the bid will come in at 2. I think the bid's more likely coming in from Essendon. Definitely Melbourne, I think. But I think Essendon might have a shy. Genuinely speaking, you don't often, when you see a trade happen, see a team that's traded bid on that player for 1. Because it will have been spoken about. And the number 2 one as well is genuinely you bid on players that you take. So I don't think we're in the key position area of the draft, but happy to be wrong, and I kind of agree with Khartoumi. I mean, Khartoumi, this stage here, he's usually 3 or 4 spots wrong, if at all, of where the draft is. So intriguing. Dyson Sharp at 9. He's done my boy genuinely mean. Saw some questions about Fred Rodriguez. Is he fast enough to play AFL football? The brain works quicker than your legs, remember that. I would say this, in the right system, Fred Rodriguez is tenacity as a defensive-sided midfielder, as he showed for WA a lot this year. I think he could be the right type of player, right? Go back to watch my video, and we'll talk about this with Dyson Sharp. Speed isn't the system is speed, right? Is what I always say. The right type of system hides slow running power. So, spot on, Theo. So, I would say Fred Rodriguez, like Dyson Sharp, you have the people around him, bang, it works, right? It works. If you are buying Fred Rodriguez as a burst midfielder, you're going to be heavily disappointed. If you're buying Fred Rodriguez as an accumulator that is going to control it around stoppage and give it out to players, incredible player. Incredible player. So Dyson Sharp, I agree with Double Dummy. I think this is criminal. Criminal he's at 9. He has been doing it a couple of years. When I look at the lists, I saw a comment the other day from an Essendon fan, and I'm not going to pick on them because it's an opinion-based game, but they called Dyson Sharp Ben Hobbs 2.0, right? 2.0, which absolutely cabbaged my mind. The improvement this guy's had from when he became an MVP in under-16s to now is another level. Another level. I've had him number 1 all year, TL. Like, maybe I'm wrong, bruh. Right? Do you know what I mean? Maybe I'm wrong. But his improvement as well this year has been really impressive. Right? Hey, Rift, it's an opinions game, so I don't mind it, Rift. Tell me, I won't be upset. But I really like it. I think you can't argue with the consistency. If I was building a midfield, you need Dyson Sharp. Any late bolters? Well, it looks like Sullivan Roby is. We are going to get to my little bolters in a minute, so stay tuned. So Dyson Sharp for me. Put some respect in it. Put some respect in it. This guy here, absolutely insane. This is off its tits. Like, South Australians, evidently, don't know what South Australia did. I don't know my Australian history well enough, but fuck me, it's like being born with leprosy in the AFL draft. This guy is mental. He's mental. And you can see there, Cal Toomey's alluded to the game that I was talking about earlier. 21 touches, 3 goals. Right? This guy is different gravy. And honestly, if I was Essendon, if I was... You know what? I'd make an argument as well. I would make an argument as well. I would make an argument that West Coast could do it as well. That West Coast could need a player, right? So I believe this was the game here. Yes, it was. Right, here you are. Just watch some of the highlights for this. So this is against men. Rift, I'm with you. This is against men. Let that sink in. This is an 18-year-old kid playing, pinch-hitting in the midfield, going forward. 21 touches, 5 marks, 3 Snagalenkos. This is a bold call. This is Christian Petrarca 2.0, right? You know what, NB, right? I reckon the hype train on Sullivan Roby and the hype train on Cooper Duff Tytler, I reckon teams overpay. I reckon teams would overpay. But I agree, says him and freaking Harley Reid. But this kid here, and you know what's really good about it? What is really, really intelligent about Sam Cumming is very similar to Nick Dacos in his draft year. Even though he is a superstar at junior level, he gives it to his mates. He gives it to his mates, right? He's not all about himself. Even this game here, he was always looking team first option. So that is something that goes quite highly rated in my book, because I think it's quite easy when you're a junior just to fuck about and do what you want, innit? It really is easy. So, interesting. I'm glad he's got him in the top 10. Aidan Sherbert, the Jim Furyk of kicking styles, Aidan Sherbert. He's got a very peculiar kicking action. But I will say this. I really like what he does. I really like Aidan Sherbert. I'm a big Sherb fan. Sam Grill. You know what? I don't want to bag Sam Grill, right? But it is fascinating because Sam Grill, when he runs like Usain Bolt. And he does it all day. And for some reason, in the AFL, we have totally forgotten that football skills and football IQ are sometimes more important than running. Right? And he will get more hype than Dyson Sharp and Sam Cumming in some circles, which for me is absolutely off its tits. That's not taken away from him, though. You know what? I'm really glad, Juddy. I said he's a good Sam Phil. But it really annoys me. You know what, though? This is interesting. Is there any Richmond fans in chat? I'm sure I've seen some of you earlier. A lot of people linking them to Richmond. They did this last year with Jagger Smith, didn't they? Right? I don't think Richmond takes Sam Grill. I can see it, but I don't think they do. I don't think they do. And I think people are just being lazy. Lazy. Right? Lazy with their analysis that just because he's played VFL for you. I don't see it. I don't see why. I mean, I'll make an argument for him, definitely. But he's, not for me. Jacob Farrow, very solid player. So Josh Lindsay, he's the hype job here at Pommy and Oz. The WA version is him. Probably a better defender. Definitely got better burst speed and can break lines. Has got a really nice kicking action, really languid. But very solid players, Jacob Farrow. He will be, again, this is another lazy analysis. Everyone has him pick 13 going to West Coast Eagles because he's a WA boy. Always interesting. Josh Lindsay, my boy, the John Lennon of field kicking. So a lot of people, a lot of knocks, right? These are my two favourite knocks I see on Josh Lindsay, which really annoy me, right? He's one, numero uno, right? Numero uno is, but he didn't do it in the midfield this year. Well, that's fucking weird, that, isn't it? Because he's a halfback, right? Grill. So, you know, like how you make your, Teresa, you know, what you put your sausages in, right? I'm a huge fan of Josh Lindsay. John Lennon by foot, absolute surgeon, great to watch. Honestly, it's like watching the Beatles on the rooftop when he kicks, right? And the other complaint is he doesn't have line breaking speed. You don't need line breaking speed because it's the same as Archie Roberts. Archie Roberts isn't going to destroy you by his pace. Archie Roberts destroys you by his ability to set up scoring chains like that, and you put players around them. I do feel like we've got very lazy in the AFL because we've got, like, in the last 20 years, the human physiology has changed rapidly in sports, that you can be 200 centimetres and run quickly, you can be short and strong, you can be all different body sizes. Josh Lindsay kicking to a midfield, right, that's quick and dynamic, changes the game. And there's a reason that one of the biggest metrics in the AFL today are your ability to score in the defensive half wins your flags, which would make, for me, Josh Lindsay, Jacob Farrow, Xavier Taylor, the most important players in this draft. Right? Right? So, the most important players in this draft from an AFL perspective. So, LS, mate, lack of pace, honestly. My favourite thing. You know what I mean? Jevon Philippou, so his brother Matthias, big Pommy and Oz boy. Bit of a different type of player though to Matthias. Bit of a different type of player is Jevon to Matthias. But what I do like about him is he's been injured all year. This is going to be a real bargain. This guy, I think, if he played the full year, would be a top 10 selection. So I'm really intrigued about who picks him up. I think someone will get... South Australians have no love. 100%, right, at the minute. South Australians get no love. I could genuinely do it. It would push it to pick 36. Bev Tom. Right? He is a decathlete. I do, Jacob. I do have you looking at Josh Lindsay as well. Sam Grill, Sam Cumming. Ollie Greaves is another guy that... Right now, I've got a... Do you want to hear a Pommy theory? A Pommy theory. So this guy could have been a Hawthorn NGA, right? And the last 6 weeks of the season, he had a bit of a slow back end of the year, right? In fairness to him, right? Didn't test at the combine because he's ill. So did Dyson Sharp, which is another Pommy theory that someone's playing silly fuckers. I really like Ollie Greaves. I really do. So this is another thing that when people look at the big body guys, oh no, he can't do it. I've got dummy. I've just got a feeling it makes no sense. I really like Ollie Greaves. He is like James Warple upgrade, and I really like what he does. And he looked like he was tired, so it's going to be fascinating. Hey, Johnny, I'm not really bothered, but I've liked this draft all year, so I could be like, here you are, proper footballer. This guy here, absolute quality footballer. Can't believe Kautumi's got him 17. Can't believe Kautumi's got him 17. I think that's quite stiff, because I think there's an argument to have him above Aidan Sherbert. But fair play to Cal. He's a legend of what he does. Now, the biggest issue with Mitch, right, is his height. He's not proper. He's not proper sized, right? This guy here changes lives. I think there's a real strong argument. If I was Melbourne, I would probably be wanting him more than Aidan Sherbert, just because this guy here, his kicking is absolutely amazing, right? And that vertical leap, you've got to look at it, right? That vertical leap makes him play. So it's a bit like Darcy Fogarty. Darcy Fogarty ain't the biggest human being on the planet, right? People forget about that, about Darcy Fogarty. He's not like full size, and I mean that in the nicest possible way, but for a key forward, he's 192. So that's like pretend size for a key position. What he does is he works up and takes the ball at the highest level, but he's kicking, man. Honestly, and his distribution, big Mitch Marsh boy. Like, honestly, I want Mitch Marsh. I'd love Mitch Marsh at Carlton. I just don't think it happens, but I do. Here we are. Tell you what, get excited about Lockie Doverston. So the rumours at the minute are Carlton want Lockie Doverston, right? Just remember, I do believe we said Lockie Doverston first on this channel. You know what, TL? I think that's an absolute great call by you, mate. But this guy here, very, very special. Very special. And I can see this guy becoming that modern day. So, you know, every side in the league has got like a small forward that plays in the midfield, right? Everyone's obsessed with it. Most teams do it quite well. Rankine, for argument's sake, Keiko, Jesse Motlop. This is why they do it, right? This is why they do it. I really enjoy, what I like about Doverston is he's one of the few small forwards this year that's in there who brings people into the game. The mullet boy, Julian, I couldn't agree more. Great. Look, I like the fact as well he looks like he pumps gas at Bendigo, right? No comparison, Vizzy. It would have to be Doverston for me. I think Latrell is a better finisher, but he's a year older. Doverston is good. Jacob, I call him Nick Watson light, the Wizard light, but I'm a big fan of Doverston. His link-up play is something that's underrated. So when you play small forward at junior level, it's a little bit like being the dash midfielder. It's quite easy to stat pad and get excited about it. You look at Doverston, he is incredible the way he brings players into the game, right? He brings players into the game. He really is a very, very astute customer. So I really like the way he goes about his work. He works incredibly hard on his craft. A lot of improvement. He brings players in and around him as well. So very, very intriguing. Christmas, yeah, his birthday's just after Christmas, I believe. So he's a year older. He does look. He's got an old face, but this guy here very good. Dovall Lindsay, look, I don't mind it. You know what, LS? To answer Peter's question with you, I don't think Carlton have ever taken a proper small forward, mate. I don't think Carlton have ever taken a proper small forward. We've always gone with someone who's half good at defence, half good at kicking goals. We haven't gone for someone that is pure craft. I really like the fact that he looks like he lives in a caravan. Vizzy, it's one of the reasons. Who would I take? Look, I'll be honest, I'm a big Josh Lindsay boy. I know Carlton, everyone says we've got loads of half-back flankers. I think most of half-back flankers at Carlton, though, are just half-back flankers. I don't think they're good. Right? He is good. He is good. He is good. So I'm a big fan of Doveston. I think he's a little bit of something different. And I'll be intrigued. I'll be intrigued. Oscar Taylor, definitely someone to watch here. Another guy that I feel could have future playing a bit higher up the ground. His line breaking is very good. Very good endurance as well. Another Eastern Rangers boy. Eastern Rangers getting the hype that maybe Sydney and South Australia should have. Noah Hibbins-Hargraves, if ever you had to draw the type of player that GWS like to sniff at, Hibbins-Hargraves, that player. I really like him. His wing work this year was quite good when he played at country level. Dandenong, though, very impressive at half forward. Real good link play. His finishing is insane. Definite game changer. Hyphens, though. LS, mate. It's always a worry. Harley Barker, if this guy had played the full year, without a shadow of a doubt, would have been higher up. Honestly, this guy, different gravy. Different gravy. Why did that change? Dan, what did you do? Different gravy. So if we look at... Hey, look. Harley Barker, so different gravy, this guy. His distribution this year has been... It's like watching a point guard. It's like watching a point guard. It genuinely is. And what is fascinating about Harley Barker is just his ability to find goal-scoring opportunities for his team. So if you watch his passages of play this year, 7 score involvements in this game, this is the modern-day wing. So when you look at teams, what they're trying to build, the new meta has been a marking wing, and people do it shitly. It started with get a high half back who's tall, 190, play wing with endurance. Then it became an exciting one, right, who could mark and be slow like Nick Cox. This is what it's turned into, a proper guy, decent speed on him, great kick, good goal sense. It's all about transition football now. And there is some teams in the draft that have these players. There's some teams that don't. Carlton would be a team that has ignored the modern day trends of football and fucked it up. TL, spot on. And Carlton are very similar to Essendon. We've done it genuinely the worst way as clubs. We've kind of got that air. So, like, Ollie Hollands is a throwback to yesteryear of a wingman. Then Akers, he's kind of like the prototype of what you should be, but isn't a specialist. I really like Harley Barker, and I think Essendon, Carlton are 2 teams I'm looking at in the draft this year and going, right, just get the players that you haven't got yet. Like, don't worry about the value. So Sam Cumming really screams off the page for me when I look at Essendon, because I think their best player is Zach Merritt in the midfield. But if you look at the modern day midfields, your Zach Merritt's now are your accumulators that are getting the ball to the better players. So I'm not a huge fan of their midfield. I think they've got a lot of players, but it needs the panache. The 20th of November, 19th of November, I believe. I agree, TL. So, really strong. Big Harley Barker fan. Look, I think Farini was the right spot, Angus. Farini was the right spot. Carlton desperately need a Harley Barker. Archie Ludowick, he's not getting any love anymore. At one point before that CTL, that PCL, he was looking like the man. He was looking like a top 5 key forward. But just slid away. Ludwig's taken over. Thank you, Mrs. P. So, Archie, big fan of Archie. Who else have we got on this list? Adam Swede, this kid here. So, I don't think when people are doing Essendon's depth charts, I don't think Essendon, people aren't looking at what Essendon have got coming through the NGA. So, Swede and El Akar, absolute real good gems. On their day, I've seen them types of players go early, top 25, top 30, right? Well, Adam finds space. El Akar is a very, 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 very good prospect. All the skills that you need in that small forward spot. I think their first 2 picks are in the peak spot to make their list. But no one's talking about these players. I feel like everyone ignores them. Here we are. Here's Latrell. Latrell, so obviously the year older, like we say. Been very strong when he played when he has stepped up. Kasaya's cuz, I believe. Yeah, he is. So this guy here is a very raw talent. Be really fascinating who takes him. He's got a very, very, very strong kick on him. Very good goal sense as well. Plays really good. Really, really good at ground level. Very solid at ground level. This could be a really intriguing one. We talked about it with Carlton. If Carlton went Lindsay, I'm sure they would be hoping there was an option to try and get him the second pick. Carl rates him very highly, which would allude to me he's got a little bit of a tip-off. Someone might take them in the first round. I do think 24 is a little bit high in the open draft, in my opinion. But I can see it. I can see it. So that'll be interesting. Max King, when they've sorted out the Lizard, somehow they've got Lizard 2.0 that plays mid-forward. Very solid player, Max King. We talked about Nick Cox. Here we are. Here's Nick Cox in 2025. This is what we're breeding now. We're breeding these incredibly athletic tall players. No one's talking about Sydney, but Lachlan Carmichael and Max King are very good players in their own right. And they've got them for free. Here we are. The Bison. Jack Eisen. This guy here, one of the best kept secrets in the AFL. One of the best kept secrets in the AFL. I am a big Jack Eisen man. Right? Big Jack Eisen man. And it'll be interesting. So the bids in the second round genuinely are one of the more obscure ones. Because what will happen is you either get absolutely battered, right? You either get absolutely battered and they all go mental at you because no one bids on them. Or it goes really, 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 really late. So it's going to be interesting. I could see teams bidding on him at the same point they do Swede. I could also see it being a Ben Camporelli 2.0, like we had last year. Ben Camporelli 2.0, and we just lose him. So, and people forget about him. So this is going to be a real fascinating one. But Jack Eisen here, this is a really good game. Head out to the AFL app. If you go down and check the Coates Talent League on the fixtures, if you are interested in watching any of these players, this is the type of player that he is. This was a really good game. I watched this game because I am a Tassie closet man. A closet Tassie man. Watch this game. Jack Eisen really stood out. His link-up play is really good. What I want people to think of with this guy is think Brodie Kemp when everyone thought Brodie Kemp was a midfielder and I was saying he wasn't. This is what happens when you are actually a midfielder. Right? This is what you are when you are a midfielder. Very, very good player is Jack Eisen. He's going to be a very good little player for Carlton. Another NGA for Sydney. This is intriguing. I think Kai Fincher will be there before your first pick, NB. I've got a feeling Kai Fincher, he's an incredible player. Another player you've kept hidden. I've got a feeling that do that. Who would I compare Jack Eisen to? Jesus, that's a tough one, that. I don't like doing that. I would say Jack Eisen plays like, so not like. Not a like for like. I would say Jack Martin when he was good. Jack Martin before the injuries at Gold Coast. Scott Pendlebury. Fucking hell, chat. Jesus. 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 Fucking hell. Scott Pendlebury. No pressure, Jack. Do you know what I mean? No pressure, Jack. A lesser Jack Martin. I think that's a bit harsh. I think his ability to link up is insane. My issue with Eisen versus Jack Martin is I think Jack Martin was probably a better forward. I think Jack Eisen's a better link play. Maverick, g'day mate, how are you? Luke Hodge, he's not as good as Luke Hodge. Harry Kyle, very, very good. Another player. Sydney have got some really good ones as well. And they haven't even got Lachlan Carmichael here. But Adam Soul, this would be a really intriguing one. This is one of the guys that I think is sliding. He's sliding quite a bit. Cameron Nairn is literally an Audi forward in the top 10. Difference here between him and like Dotherstone, Noah Hibbins-Hargraves and stuff is this guy's ball accumulation and pace is really solid, but it's like his endurance and his ability to X-factor it in is really good. And this is intriguing, this one, because this is why I kind of think the Harry Dean hype is a little bit weird. Blake Threadgold, I rate it because I've got him just inside my 40. I really rate this acquisition here. The one thing I find that's intriguing about Blake Threadgold is usually where you bid on Threadgold is where you bid, where you would bid on Harry Dean, because that would be your next logical pick. So, based on that POM logic, right, let's just say, because the AFL draft won't be like this, right, but if Cal Toomey's correct, which invariably is, number 1, Will Dursmer, number 2, Zeke Hewland, which means Eagles, Cooper Duff Tyler, Essendon do a double bid, Sullivan Roby, and Xavier Taylor. This is probably where you bid. Whoever takes Xavier Taylor will bid on Harry Dean. Similar type of player. Because that's genuinely how it works. Very rarely do you see a bid match and someone go... Like, very rarely would you see this. We've pick 1, we take Zeke Hewland, bid matched, and then they actually... and then they ignore Will Dursmer and they bid on Cooper Duff Tyler. Like, you very rarely see that. It's usually a similar type of player. So, really intriguing one, that. I'm very excited about seeing how that materialises. So, if we go back to Pom's big draft board... Oh, I agree, Angus. I'm just saying, if we went that logic, right, it's a good logic to use in the terms of usually when a bid comes in, it's the same type of player. Teams of the AFL don't. So, do you know what I mean? Yeah, Angus, I know. But so, I always stress mock draft, phantom draft. I'm saying if we assume that's how they went, right? If we assumed, what I'm saying is teams will bid on a similar type of player. It wouldn't be... I was using it as an example so we had an order. Very rarely do you see a team go pick 1 a midfielder NGA, pick 2 a midfielder, NGA. Now it's my pick. I go with a key forward that's 210 centimetres. Usually it would be midfielder. We don't often see it. I'll show you, Rift. So what I've got here is William Dersma. So it's only your first pick. It's only your first pick. Cooper, Duff, Tytler, Sullivan, Roby. Pick 2. We haven't got a sexy little sheet for this, but we've got Cooper, Duff, Tytler, Samuel Cumming, and Sullivan, Roby. So let me know what you think about that. But that's what we've got there. So that could be a really intriguing one, because I don't think, as you can see, we want midfield support, high ceiling through the spine for Eagles. I just don't see them bidding. The teams that I see bidding are Essendon. I think you could make a great argument for Essendon. I think you can make an incredible argument for Melbourne. You can make an incredible argument for Melbourne. And North Melbourne would definitely want him, but I mean, if the bid came in at 20, I'll probably be naked day 2 of the draft. But Richmond, I can't see it because I think their midfield is quite stacked. The guy who asked about St Kilda, key position depth and rebounding support. So which clubs do you see trading up? So I think this is really intriguing. So if we go here, so if we go here, what I think is intriguing about this draft this year, right? What I think is intriguing about this draft here is I think what you will see is if we go in an open pool, I think the hype of Sullivan Roby, right? If we put Sullivan Roby here, to answer your question, it's not a mock draft. My actual mock draft gets released tomorrow, Alex. But I'm talking about bids. I think this type of player here is definitely what you would trade up for, right? So let's just say if West Coast are like, right, Will Dersma locked away, buy ourselves a little bit of time, bid on Zeke, right? I think Richmond will take Sullivan Roby. My gut says Richmond's list, they are in a great position to go pick 3, exactly what you want. Pick 4, go the high ceiling player, because you've done the hard work last year. If Essendon want Sullivan Roby, as we are led to believe, which is very highly, I wonder if Essendon try and get ahead, right? Because I don't think Sullivan goes there. But I also think another gentleman that we've talked about a lot, this guy, I reckon Cooper Duff Tytler as well, is another player that I think some of these teams would want. Yeah, let's hear it, Angus. I'd love to, mate. Right? So, I think these two here, Melbourne, I don't think Cooper Duff Tytler gets past these 4 clubs. 6-21-27 for 9-11. So, that's what? That's that. And you're giving me 6-21-27, which will be eaten up by Harry Dean. I think Carlton would definitely do it. I think Carlton will definitely do it, Angus, on a proviso that no one bids on Harry Dean. So, obviously, by that stage, we'd know. I don't think Carlton would... I think Carlton would definitely do that. Dogs move up. Who are you thinking of? NATO potatoes. Who are you thinking of? Who are you thinking of? Because I think Essendon would definitely love to get Sullivan Roby across. I also think Melbourne, looking at the state of their list, Cooper Duff Tytler learning off Max Gawn would be the dream. Would be the dream. So I think West Coast, if they play their cards right, if West Coast slid to like these areas here, that could be Sam coming someone else. Are you still here, Rift? If they could get the deal across, that could be Sam coming and someone else. Up the Duff will go pick one. So that's what I'm thinking. I think in an ideal world, right, Melbourne would love Cooper Duff Tytler. So I think that they will look at two. I think in an ideal world, Essendon want that guy, right? So I think pick two's got some value. Yeah, Rift though. Like obviously, let's do. I guess it, off the top of my head, I would say Cummings should be gone about here. I think both of these sides have very similar needs. But it'll be interesting because Dersma surely is pick one. You know what? Eagles could have fun though. Right? They could have gone bang. When did I say that? Dersma's the player one. I agree, TL. I agree, TL. He's definitely the type of player they want. I think Sullivan Roby would be high up on their list though. I just think Essendon have got no chance of Will Dersma, Sullivan Roby. So I think Essendon may have a look. The only thing that says to me Essendon might not trade up is they didn't sell Zach Merritt, because I think if they'd sold Merritt, they may have done. Right? They may have done it. I do think the best place to be in the draft though is here. This is definitely the best place to be in the draft. That's definitely the best place to be in the draft. I agree, Double Dummy. It was Walsh's, and obviously, I think he's got a plan. Which, fair play to him. I did want to show you, though, before we finish up, just two players to keep your mind on a bit later on. That I want you just to keep it in your mind. So, I know some of you mentioned old mate, my boy, Fred Rodriguez, right? But I want a good little guy to watch that I'm a big fan of if you're wanting cheap, cost-effective midfield forward craft, is this gentleman here, right? So I've got him pigeonholed here as definitely an opportunity for a team. Someone like Collingwood would definitely like a player like this. They're not scared of going to South Australia. But Jet DeLitz is a really underrated player. Works really hard behind the ball. Really hard. Beautiful give and go. I'm a big fan. So this will be a really intriguing one. I think he could definitely be someone that I think is going to turn into an attacking winger as time goes on. I'm a big Jet DeLitz fan. Huge Jet DeLitz fan. And the other guy that I want you to just keep an eye on, that I think could be a very, very intriguing type player, is Jackson Voss. But I want you just to keep an eye on this gentleman here. And that is none other than Rory Wright. This guy here has got some real good skills, is Rory Wright. Comes from Sandringham Dragons, works very hard with the ball in hand. So I'm a big fan of what Rory Wright does, and I think I agree with. I think from 20 onwards there is some real good bargains. Would you do that? Would you do that, Rift? Because I think there's a good argument for you could do it. Because I actually think for Essendon, I think you could make an argument that Sullivan Roby would change their midfield dynamic up anyway, which then gives them a bite at one of the more projecty players if they wanted. I'm glad you're thinking, chat. I really enjoyed that. But there you are, chat. I think that's a really intriguing one. Thank you very much for hanging with me. We'll be a little bit more structured this time next week because I'm just doing a bit of a redevelopment here and it's been a mental week with my birthday. Before I go, I want to give you a huge shout out. Thank you so much, first of all, for the birthday love. I haven't felt so much loved from a group of people for a long time. This community, honestly, is an incredibly special place. So I really appreciate you all. I felt the love on my birthday, really did. And the 10K, thank you so much, honestly. I never envisioned when I started this journey we would have 10,000 subscribers. I am really proud. How's my finger? There it is. Look, can you see it? So I've got the bandage off. My stitches are still in there. We're going to have... Hopefully they come out Thursday now. Thank you very much, chat. 50, fucking hell. We'll have some trade ideas in there. We'll have some trade ideas in there, dummy. There isn't any ones in there. So thank you very much, chat, for hanging with me. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Mock draft coming next week. Loads of draft content as well on its way. Thank you so much for hanging with me. We'll be back live Wednesday for another fan cam style thing. So get your cameras and stuff. Love you all to pieces. Have a great weekend. Pom out.